guys, so today we're going to look at elements of a fairy tale. And there's 6 main elements that we're going to look at of a fairy tale. The first one we're going to look at is the setting. And the setting is just simply where the story takes place. There we go, now we can see. That is where the story takes place. It might take place in a palace. It might take place in a forest. It might take place on a farm. There's just a lot of different places or areas that could be the setting. The second story element of a fairy tale is characters. Every fairy tale has characters. And the characters are the people or animals in the story. In the story of the 3 Little Pigs, the 3 Little Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf are the characters and they're animals. But in the story of Cinderella, and there's stepsisters and a stepmom and a prince and Cinderella, and in that particular fairy tale, there are people. So there could be people or there could be animals. Either one, they're both good characters. All right, the next thing we're going to look at is that most fairy tales have a magical element. So in Cinderella, you have the fairy godmother, and she waves her wand and she turns the pumpkin into a carriage and the mice into the horses, and so there's some magical elements there in the fairy tale. So something with magic. And Jack and the Beanstalk, he's got those magic beans. So that is the magical element. So then we have the problem. So in Cinderella, the problem was that she left a glass slipper. Well, the first problem was she wanted to go to the ball and she couldn't. And the second problem was that she left the glass slipper there and the prince didn't know who it belonged to. So the problem is, what's wrong in the story? And then for every problem, there's a solution. And the solution is how the problem is solved. So in Cinderella, the fairy godmother came and gave her a new dress and transportation. So that's how she made it to the ball. And in the end of the story, the prince went through all the land and found the person who the slipper belonged to. And so that was the solution to that one. All right, and then the last one is happily ever after. In fairy tales, usually they end by saying, and they all lived happily ever after. They don't always say that in particular, but there's always a happily ever after that happens in the end. Like in Cinderella, when she finds her prince and then she marries him and she gets to go on. So the happily ever after is the happy ending. So those are the 6 main fairy tale story elements. So what I want you to do is I want you to, in the comments, list all 6 of these elements. Okay? Bye.